What's happening out there, but we are going to go outside. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another fabulous episode of Vlogging from My Sanity, where I talk about everything that's going on in my head that's crazy. No, I'm just playing. Well, not really. Actually, I'm going to get straight into it because my brain be working goofy, and if I don't talk about it as soon as it's on my mind, I will forget about it. Have you ever felt like you would be a lot more successful in life if you had just been like placed in a different, you know what I'm saying? Like if you was just somewhere else. Like you just ever felt like your environment like is not for you at all, and that's kind of why you are where you are. Well, I think a lot of that is perspective. That's what we're gonna talk about today. Because I really had a lot to talk to y'all about, but it kind of led me to that. I'm sitting here thinking, and the more I think, the more I'm like, all right. First of all, if I don't stop, I'm gonna start rambling. That's not good. So, and all of these, everything that I'm saying makes sense to what I just said. Just follow me. Anywho, so as far as the whole like feeling like you in the wrong place thing, the reason why I feel like that is because a lot like. It's for some odd reason, I don't know why. I genuinely don't even know where I get it from. The more I learn about like my family and stuff. But something unique happened to me when I was created. And I don't mean me specifically, because I think this happens to everybody just in a different way. But something unique happened to me when I was created. And there are things that I genuinely gravitate towards, and I don't really have a real reason why. I can see why it got that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see the steps that led to me getting to that point, but I don't really know why. It'd be like my default. It's kind of weird. For example, a lot of the stuff that I just like 9 times out of 10, if you came over my house, I'm probably watching something on YouTube that has something to do with something business oriented in general. Now, there's a few things about that I find interesting. My bad. First thing I find interesting is the fact that I'm a Capricorn. So I think my need to gravitate towards things that just are business oriented or that make sense is more normal than I give it credit for. But in that same aspect, when I look at, my genetics and my DNA or whatever, it's like, okay, is it business or is it just a desire to be like successful? And I go back and forth with that a lot. Don't know why, but that's why we're talking about it. Yeah. I gotta stop saying a lot too. That's annoying. I don't like that. I genuinely don't like that. Especially when I listen to people talk. Like saying a lot, that's really annoying. It really is. It actually is. I'm not gonna lie to you. But honestly, I feel like I'm talking in circles now. Because I had a bunch of stuff that I was thinking about. But I was trying to like compartmentalize it and make it make sense so I could say it in a very simple way to where it was like it got to the point really quickly. I'm just bad at doing that though. I am bad at getting to the point quickly, but I genuinely think the reason why I do that is because of the way I think. The way I think is like if you can take your time to like get to the point, or if you can sit still long enough to like allow it to take shape, then you will get the value that you were looking for when the conversation or the whatever first started. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of things that you could use that same thought process with. But anyway, back to the whole feeling like you're not born in the same place. Everything that I just said. Stuff like that is weird to me because of basically what I was just saying. Like, see what I'm saying? It actually does make sense to me. So this stuff will be making sense in my head. I just be trying to find a good way to explain it to people. But, like, even that thought process, it's like, okay, am I where I'm supposed to be? Because why do I think like that? And where did I get that from? And am I doing it wrong? I think about that a lot too. Because I was just watching one of my favorite podcasts, Diary of a CEO. I was watching this lady on there. She was just talking about how, in the world of being successful, one thing that you have to have is grit. And I've heard that a lot. I heard that a lot amongst successful people as far as grit is concerned. And I always wonder, is it something that I lack, or am I just doing it different? Because for me, there's a lot of things that I've hung on to and have clinged to that for me would kind of determine that I have grit. Like for me, like my determination to get my mental health together, even to do these videos on a consistent basis the way I do. Like if I was to break it down to you, example, my 9 times out of, matter of fact, I do you one better. I'm making this video on Sunday. By the time you see this video, it's not going to be on Sunday. When you see this video, the day that I put this video out, it's not going to be Sunday. The reason why I do that is because sometimes my life gets so busy, I need to make sure that I'm still putting the content out because I know what I'm trying to do with content as a whole. I know how I'm trying to maximize on whatever I'm doing as far as content is concerned. My bad. Because it's going to be the foundation for a lot of other things that I'm trying to do. A lot. So I know the purpose of me premiering my videos and putting them out early so that way I can give myself time, and like the time that people swear up and down that they don't have to make content. Because if you predate your video for 3 days now, like, bro, you have 3 days to make sure that you kind of like let yourself get geared up for that day. Because shit might happen. Of course. But if you know that, then why aren't you like trying to find ways to pre-set up yourself or like to load yourself up to get ready for these things? Because of course you don't have this. Of course you don't have time. Of course you don't. But everybody got them excuses. So what are you going to do about it now that you know that that's a real thing? If that's a real thing, if you genuinely don't have time, then what are you doing about it? I don't know. I'm not saying I don't. Well, yeah, I don't necessarily know where I be getting it from sometimes. Because when I think like that towards people that I know, even sometimes family members, it doesn't seem to translate the same way. And I be confused. Because that sounds like peasantry. And I be like, what? How does what I just said don't make no sense? I'm confused. But maybe, but it's another thing I was thinking about recently. I've been talking to people about recently is like, I think I made a video on about that already, where I was saying that people speak to be heard, not to be understood. I think about that a lot because when I talk, it makes me wonder, am I saying it because I just feel like it's something good to say, or am I really trying to translate this in a way that people are understanding? And that's one of the main reasons why I decided to go to the internet with a lot of the stuff that I say, because I understand how wild west the internet can be. I grew up with the internet, so this shit don't really fucking faze me. But to understand where the thought processes come from in totality has always been interesting to me. And it's never really made me... I've never really took stuff... Well, I guess I have taken stuff personally, especially when it comes to like black shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially when it comes to black shit. I take that shit personally, but not in the same way that other black people do. For example, like I was having a conversation last night with somebody and we was talking about like black on black crime and shit like that. And they was just like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Because my partner was telling me the other day, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, he just feel like it's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And when you be around black people, you know what I'm saying, you always gotta have your gun on you. But if you around a white boy, you don't gotta feel like you gotta have your gun on you, you know what I'm saying? It's just fucked up like that. We live like that. And I was just like, this is why I'm a bad friend, because you can't say cliche shit like that to me and I'm just gonna like just engage genuinely. I mean, I am, but that because my genuine feelings is just gonna be like, you gonna feel like I'm looking down on you. I get that a lot. It's not that I'm trying to do it on purpose. It's just like when people get to talking like that, I just be like, indoctrination. Anywho, okay, let's break what you just said down. For real, cause I don't like that. I don't like that. But I live in a city full of motherfuckers who talk like that and think that shit is normal. But it's so weird to me because I'm like, who? You have the internet like I do. Why do you think like that? Like, I don't think I'm better than you because I know that the term black on black crime comes from proximity and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, them using the fact that crime happens because of proximity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most crimes happen because of proximity. So all crimes happen because of proximity for the most part, unless a motherfucker decide to go on a fucking killing spree across the United States or some shit like that. But for the most part, when you're talking about, like, it's just weird. It is weird. It's actually really, really weird. And I really hate that because I hate the fact that people even think like that. Because it's just such a waste of time to have a conversation. And this is why I don't feel like I am where I am. Like, I'm telling y'all, I'm on the, I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, but I'm really, like, on the same shit. You with me? Okay, cool. So, like, I don't get that. I don't understand why you would fix your lips as a black person. Like, because then now I'm mad at you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I should understand because I do have the understanding. But I do, to a certain extent, take stuff personally. Because I'll be like, you do know that I'm black and not Chinese, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? That was a GTA joke. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But anyway, anywho, but that's what I'm talking about. Shit be stupid. Like, this is like, I feel like enough people should have been able to get that joke. Like, but I guess not. I ain't like all y'all play GTA. Well, a lot of people have played GTA, so I'm sure like, I don't understand why I even have to explain that. That's stupid. That's stupid to me. This is why I be like, I need to be somewhere else maybe. Because even, okay, so the original point of my conversation I got from the whole, like I said, the whole grit thing, as far as being a business person, because I understand as a millennial, I'm not, I ain't no better than the rest of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and act like we have the grit of the 80s, because we don't. They don't either, for real, if you want to be honest about it. But anywho, but I get it. So, but my rebuttal to that has always been, well, for me, it's not that I wasn't ever willing to do things. It's that I don't like this. I don't like how, at least the people around me, because when I watch stuff like The Diary of a CEO and, you know, all of the other successful people that I watch across social media platforms, I don't think if I was able to have the same conversations with them, I don't think they would not understand what I meant. But I get frustrated because every job I've ever had, I've always thought what I'm saying shouldn't really be an issue. I'm just having a genuine conversation about things that are clearly wrong. And I didn't know that you weren't supposed to do that in a company. Like, you're not supposed to point out things that are wrong and then, like, have a real issue with them. Like, I didn't know that. I like, people make it seem like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my weird middle ground with all of this shit. Because, okay, on the one end, you want me to work and shut up. I could do that if you weren't unnecessarily making my job harder. And that's weird because for me as a black person, I don't understand why you're doing that. And I would like to be able to ask that question, but maybe because I come from the 90s, maybe, I don't know. People still think that that's bad to ask questions. And it's weird to me. I think that's weird. Like, I don't see why that's bad for you to want to know. Like, okay, this is my thing, because I consider myself a businessman as well. When people ask me questions, I do get frustrated. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't. Like, I do get frustrated when people ask me questions, but most of my frustration depends on who's talking to me and in what context. Because I'm not handling everybody the same way that wants to know and wants to ask questions or whatever. That's not my problem. My problem is, in what manner are you trying to do it? Or are you trying to, like, gauge whether or not I'm going to tell you the truth? Or are you genuinely asking questions because you genuinely, like, are curious on gaining new information? Because for me, I feel like I can feel the difference. And I'm not finna play with you if you just trying to, like, figure out something You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm just really good at that. Like, I know when people trying to say something without saying something. Like, people do that all the time in St. Louis, and it's so annoying. It's so weird. But because they do it so often, and I'm just built like that at this point, I've learned how to just, like, talk to people in that same context where I'm like, so what are you really saying? And it's forced me to realize that, like, everybody lies. Like, everything that come out of everybody's mouth is pretty much a lie. For real. Like, people just be lying for no reason. They be like, because people, look, for example, I'll say what I'm saying now. Like, all of this stuff that I've been telling y'all for the last, clearly, 15 minutes. People will listen to me and be like, yeah, I feel you. No, you don't. You're lying. You're fucking lying. Because if you feel what I was saying, you would probably be living more like that. So you can't feel what, I mean, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by you feel what I'm saying? Like, it sound good? Like, is it a fact? Like, is it just you are cheering my opinion? Like, I'm confused. Like, what do you mean by I feel you? Like, what does that mean? I would like to know what that means. I feel you. What exactly do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Cause when I say I think social media is a toxic place, I do things about it, like get on social media and talk things that are not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feed into the bullshit. I just do something about it. You are just telling me your problems with people on Facebook. We're different to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at us discussing the issues that, like, cause I get it. We got, it's barbershop talk. I get it. But what are we doing about, like, I could point out exactly what I'm doing about that. And I feel like I always have been able to do that. Like, no matter whatever the goal was, even when I was talking about rap, which is why I used to get so frustrated with people, you know what I'm saying, still to this day within my music career, because I'm still, you know what I'm saying, I'm still working on it. But that's why I get so frustrated dealing with people, because it's like, okay, if we both understand this, then what are we talking about? Like, why are we having a conversation about this? Like, why are we not just working? You know what I'm saying? Like, people will hear what I'm saying. Like, other rappers, they'll hear me talking how I'm talking and be like, yeah, I feel you. Okay, so what are we doing? I sit up here and tell niggas how, like, people are fake and all this, that, and the other, you know what I'm saying? And I don't, and how I don't trust people, and I have insecurities, and I'll reveal all of these things to people, and they'll be like, yeah, I feel you. Okay, so what are we doing? Or do you just say it that just because it's just like that's just like the normal way people talk, to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to fill in like the dead air of space, so they just say, I feel you. Or they just be like, I agree. It's like, yeah, that's why I be like, everybody be lying. And this is why I be feeling like I don't even know if I'm where I'm supposed to be, because, like I say, when I watch people on social media, especially very successful people, I would think that me having a personal conversation with them, what I would say makes sense. But then again, it's social media, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I could meet these people and they nothing of what they say online. You know what I'm saying? That happens all the time too. So, but again, what are we doing about this? I'm right now having a genuine conversation with y'all. So, which would be on social media, which no matter how it was determined what I said about what I said, I still was genuine in my feelings, and I still was honest about myself. So let's say something did happen and somebody took something that I said and something bad happened, whatever. Let's just fake scenario. I don't think it'll ever happen, because I don't think I've ever said nothing wild like that. I don't think. But in the same context, let me see. What would make you feel like I don't care? You feel what I'm saying? I just be feeling like that stuff is interesting. I was and even in that thought process, I'm thinking about like a interview, and it might be old at this point. I don't even know, but because you know how the internet be. I was looking at an interview. It was he was clearly a gay guy. I'm not trying to be funny, but he was clearly gay. But he was asking and a black man, which to me were very, very unique qualities to have in an interviewer asking the questions that you were asking. I thought that was very interesting. Not bad, just interesting. But they were asking her questions about, the whole statements that she made about trans people or whatever. And for me, I'm maybe because I have seen her a lot in passing, but I mean, not even in passing. I think I'm a pretty, not a huge Just Hilarious fan, but I think I'm a fan. I pretty much know the whole story. I've been watching her. I follow her on a few social media platforms, not all of them, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I consider myself a fan. I've never seen her do anything that would make me feel like she hates people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that we even do stuff like that to people. Like, why are we mad about certain things in totality without asking questions? Maybe that's why I'd be feeling some type of way to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's personal to the whole why aren't we allowed to ask questions? And as a black person, that has always bothered me. And I'm gonna keep saying as a black person because I need you to understand that at one point we weren't allowed to ask questions. So that's the nerve that you strike with me every time somebody says something in a blanket way without being allowed to ask questions. I don't like that, and I never will. I need to be able to ask questions. That doesn't mean I'm trying to cast a judgment. That doesn't mean I'm trying to hate. I'm not trying to do none of that. I just should be allowed to ask questions. I should be allowed to understand what's happening without trying to like demonize somebody. Just let me ask questions. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like I live in a place where people are not allowed to ask questions. I feel like I was raised in a time where people weren't allowed to ask questions. I'm still feel like I'm living in a time where people aren't allowed to ask questions, and it's weird to me. That's weird. That is strange. Like, why? What do you hide? Because to me, like I say, because I was raised in St. Louis, and people do that all the time. They so indirect with shit. 9 times out of 10, that means you trying to get over on some shit. To me, because it's where I'm from. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. It ain't like I went out there and was just like, yeah, everybody trying to get over on me. No, that's what fucking kept happening every time I didn't take that into consideration. People was getting over on me. So it was like, okay, so that must be a pattern that God's trying to show me. I feel you. Okay, got it. Heard that lesson. So what you niggas on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to ask questions. Like, I don't think there's a problem with asking questions. I genuinely don't. Like, but my thing is, where are you, like, again, context and who's speaking. If you just trolling, then fuck your questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's clear differences. Like, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you trying to rage bait a motherfucker, clearly, no, you don't count. Like, that's literally contradicting of what the fuck I just said. I literally said context, who's talking. So, if your context of your question is dumb, then the fuck are we talking about? But yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like people do that. The fact that we do that, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll dismiss social media, but then start making judgments off of social media. Motherfuckers be like, social media is fake, but then send you a post of something somebody said, you know what I'm saying, inspirational on social media. I thought it was, shut up. Just shut the fuck up. You the type of motherfuckers that didn't read the dictionary because you said the white man wrote it. That's who y'all are. I cannot deal with you. I cannot deal with you niggas. I cannot deal with y'all. And I ain't got time. I ain't got time for you conspiracy theories. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, I don't know you. Prank caller. No, I can't. I'm not dealing with y'all. I'm not dealing with the truth. You a bunch of truths and Jeffros. That's all y'all is. I can't deal with y'all. Polar bear shit in the woods. No, they don't. There are no polar bears in the woods, Jethro. What are you talking about? Like, bro, no, I cannot deal with y'all. More GTA jokes, please. Just go look them up so you can laugh along. Dude, but anywho. But yeah, so I think that was my spiel for today. That's pretty much where a lot of my thought process led me. Because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. And I think I hit on most of the points. Another thing I was mad about too, that I made a video about when I was talking about how niggas would get on social media and be like, bro, don't nobody fuck with me, but they know me. which is weird because I do stuff like this. Like these conversations ain't like I'm just having these personal conversations with y'all. If any of y'all remember, like from like when I first started vlogging for my Sanity, I used to say that it's not that I don't have people to talk to. I genuinely think a lot of people that I talk to about these things don't care or listen. But it kind of goes to what I was just saying. It's because like we'll have these conversations and niggas be like, yeah, I feel you, but then do nothing. Like nothing happens. They just be like, yeah, I feel you. What are we doing? Like what are we doing? Every single day, every second of every single day is an opportunity to do something. And all you had was and then plus, because I come from the 90s and I'm black and I was raised in the church, you know what that sounds like to me? I'm gonna pray for you. That's what it sounds like. I don't like that shit. Don't do that. Like, I understand that's my trauma, but don't do that. Like, that's why I'm letting you know. That's why I'm like being upfront about who I am so we can have a genuine discord. You feel me? I'm trying to get somewhere with you. I'm telling you, I care. Like, but I don't like that. It just feel like I'm gonna pray for you. No, don't pray for me. Don't. I'm cool. I don't need none of that energy you got going on over there. Cause that's all you got for me. Keep that shit over there. I'm cool. I'm just cool. Like, I don't like that. And I don't think it's nothing against the church per se. I think it more so says something about the individual. And then on a large scale, we kind of blame like the church and shit like that. Because I've seen disingenuous people go into church and then do that. They'll say the same things. They'll be like, oh, well, you're not supposed to be like that as a Christian, or we're not supposed to do this, that, and the other. Okay. And then start asking them about black shit. And they be like, well, it is black people at my church. Okay. How much money they give you? They pay the bill, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Look. When you talk about grit, man, at least I know I don't sell out. Put it like that. At least y'all will never have to worry about me selling out. But I don't think people care for real anyway. I think the people just like to hang stuff over you that you said because it's a way for them to validate their trauma. Like, for example, if I was talking to somebody about that last night, they was like, they was talking about like music shit. And they was like, so like, is getting a distribution deal that's like selling your soul, ain't it? Like when you sign a deal. And I'm like, bro, no, no, it has nothing to do with selling your soul. That's just what the media does. The media make everything that black people do just seems bad. It don't matter what it is. Even if the black person is already bad, they'll double down on it just to make it seem worse. Cause it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's a nigga. So, but no, it's like, I was like, look at distribution and like labels like a warehouse. If you make clothes and get successful, eventually you're not going to keep being able to make clothes in your house. Let's say you did start from the very bottom. You in your crib and you made clothes. You knitted all of that shit yourself. Eventually let's say you do blow up. Eventually you're going to have too many orders to do yourself and you're going to need people. And the fucked up part that I'm starting to understand, this is why I like the entrepreneurial culture and the hustle culture. This is why I loved it, because it forced people to realize that a lot of the stupid shit y'all saying about businesses are just genuine things that you just have to do when it comes to business. And you took it personally because you're an ass. Like, it had nothing to do with the business of the company. You're just an ass. Like, now, there are things that we do need to hold a lot of these companies responsible for, but some of that shit ain't really got nothing to do with you, at all. But so anyway, yeah, I found that out a lot in business. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I was doing too. You'll come to people with a price and then explain to them why the prices they pay. They don't give a fuck because they don't really support you. They just feel like them giving you money is supporting you, and to a certain extent, genuinely, I guess that is. Because whatever you're willing to do for the dollar, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. It's not I don't think it's a bad or a good thing. I really think it comes down to the individual and how you feel about it. Because, somebody can say you selling your soul working a job. Technically, to a certain extent, it is still slavery, technically. But what else are you going to do? Like, not build things? Like, not have nice things? Like, what do you... You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to realize that when people say things like working a 9-to-5 is slavery, they're not necessarily speaking about the job itself. They're speaking about how we go about treating each other in these jobs. Context. Context, which is the main reason why I always had such a conflict with myself as far as working jobs and like being where I am, because it's not. I've always hated jobs. I don't want to do jobs. I want to continue to do content and do other things. It ain't like I just want to do content in life. I just want to do other things. But where I am genuinely feels like it don't want me to do that. No matter how humble and how nice I try to do it and try to be a good person about it, it genuinely feels like just this entire place is like, no, how dare you try to live a dream? How dare you? No. Like, but that's why I feel like at the end of the day, I must have grit, because I'm kind of like, yeah, fuck you. I hear you, but yeah, I'm cool. We're going to keep trying until we die. And then we still going to keep trying. And I ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been working on my balls. Oh, shit. But all right, I think that's all I got for you. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up. And I'll see y'all on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Peace. What the fuck? Jujutsu Kaisen confirmed season 3 for January 26th. Oh, yeah, January 26th is stacked. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, it is. And they all in January. Hey, shout out to the Capricorns. They did that for me. Every time something happens in January, I'll be like, yep, that happened for me. Yep, they did that specifically for me. Yeah, I'm one of them. I know. It's bad, I know. But, yeah. But other than that, yeah, I'll see y'all on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Peace.